Hello, welcome to my channel, PhoenixReturned. This is my gaming channel, and this video today is going to be on collecting plastic scrap. It's pretty important because if you're going to sell any of these, the junk or scrap that you collect, you will need to wrap it in plastic mold, and to make a bulk. The bulk is easier to sell and there's more product. Just be careful not to carry too much bulk in your stash box, else it fills up too much space. I've learned that. So I hope you enjoy, and we're gonna go get some plastic now. So we're going to Morgantown High School, so you can just see it here. Some lightning for some dramatic effect. And here we go. So just be careful, there is a few enemies around here. Use your VATs if it's easier, or just do whatever weapons you do. I tend to be a rifle build all the time in any game I play, so you know, for me it was natural to follow that in this game as well. I've noticed it's really good for kind of exploring and taking out enemies. But it tends to be like more of a, for me, I end up being a bit more of a support when it comes to, I don't know, maybe the Queen, Scorch Queen. But I haven't tried the new weapon on her, so we'll see. So pick up the plastic pumpkin buckets. They're all plastic. They are all useful, so take them all. I tend to grab pretty much anything I see in this place, just in case, but the main things you want to look out for are the plastic pumpkin buckets and the plates and bowls. There's also cutlery as well. There we go, we've got another plastic bucket there. There's a few enemies in here, so just make sure you clear them out. I tend to prefer going to this location over the school down the south of the map, only because sometimes I find the robots a pain, even though they're not very fast, but they do hit quite hard, and I tend to have a low health build, and I haven't quite finished all my build or my character yet, so there's still some tweaking there to do. So again, more plastic buckets. And just keep an eye out, because there will be stuff lying around the sides. I find the quickest, easiest way is actually just to look out for the tables. In here I am taking the microscopes because they do have screws in them. They're a good thing to sell. I tend to sell all of my screws to my vendor at 6 caps, and they go every time. They're valued at 7, so it's worth basically selling them all, I think, just to get rid of them. It's worth picking up aluminium as well. If you have it at the right price, people will buy all of this stuff. I've always been surprised that everyone's purchased all of my junk nearly in my vendor, and you know, I've messed around with the prices. I've had them, you know, too high, too low. I only really started playing this game in January. Some of you might already know if you see my other videos. So you know, still some adjustments and getting used to it. Scorch. So here you go. Another new plastic item to look out for is the plastic TV dinner trays. They will be on the floor and on the tables. Also, this place is not so bad this time. I don't know if it's because someone had a messier weapon, like a more bigger explosions or something, but sometimes you can find a lot of the cutlery and the plates and bowls on the floor. So just to make sure you're checking the floor as well, because if it, there we go, see there's a bowl on the floor and a plate. Yeah, because they do fall onto the floor if you're shooting the tables or the enemies around, so it's just worth double checking and picking up these things. Yeah, I did say it's best to check tables. You can see it always seems to be around those. So, am I going to get lucky with this porter diner? What do you reckon? The answer's no. I think I've only got it once, and that was like when I first tried this game out at launch, well, just after launch, around the December when it came out, and I didn't play the game for very long. You know, I came back to it finally this year, but I'm definitely glad I came back to it. It was one of those things that surprised me when I first played this game. I wasn't sure what to think about it, and then when I came back, you know, it's they fixed so many things, and there's a lot more things added to it, and there's a lot more depth to the game as well. So here we go, hot plate. I just grabbed that because it's got copper and possibly a screw in it as well, and a toaster. So just it's useful to grab these other things whilst you're there, just to make it worth your while for the trip. So I think we've got one more room to search after this one, and then we're done. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of practice with the searching the rooms on this one because I've taken about a week or so off, just because I've been focusing on building a base, which means that I have not had my vendors open, which means that I've not been selling any of my stuff, and I've not needed any plastic to do any bulk. These tips are definitely useful though. Selling these things, I can make anything between a couple of thousand caps a day to 10,000 caps a day. And that's based on selling one legendary weapon maybe, and or all my scrap and junk, and like maybe some stable flux as well. Okay, so this is the last room, so it's just going to take a minute or so, maybe a minute or two, to just clear the enemies and just run around and have a look. Sometimes the thing that takes the time is the picking things up and searching them all and making sure they're there. Make sure you haven't missed anything. So there you go, a lot of plastic plates there, which is great. Definitely don't want to miss out on those. Yeah, so there's more places that you can go get plastic from, obviously. It's just how much time you want to spend doing it, and how much you've got to collect. If you're working like I do, which is having a lot of things to sell in my vendor, I mostly have weapons to sell in my vendor, maybe like 40 weapons or 3-star, and there's a few that are just average, and then there's a few that are really good. And then I've got a couple of ones there that are just really just for people to buy to turn into script. I always like I think I'm turning into a bit of a collector for weapons. I've got a ton of rifles that I will not sell because I like the look of them, or I like the stats on them. Yeah, I only use 1 or 2 rifles at a time. So it depends on what else you're going to do. This I know yesterday a friend and I played, and we went around collecting, basically taking a bunch of workshops that had lead and steel, and you know, it's surprising how long it takes to clear the enemies, and then to set up the equipment there, and then to move on to the next, and then go back and defend and things like that. Definitely can take a bit of a getting used to it, or get into a rhythm for it. So I think we have everything. There's just one more thing, one more plastic pumpkin to collect. There it is. Okay. So we're done. Thank you for watching my video on collecting plastic. I hope it was helpful to some people. I managed to get a total of 75 plastic scrap, so it's not crazy amounts, but it's enough to do what I need to do, or just to top up what I already have. Again, it depends on how much you're selling. If you're selling a lot of junk all the time and it's all bulk, you might need to do the other school to get the plastic from there as well. If you're selling on and off, which is what I'm doing at the moment, I don't need to get as much of it because I still have some left over from last time. So thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon.